I'm Jacob Dickey with an update for our severe weather from Friday night with those damage surveys coming on in here. We'll walk through those tornado reports that we had. As of Tuesday morning, we've got 6 confirmed tornadoes out there, although I expect that number to rise. The National Weather Service is out surveying today in places like Altamont, Stewartson, and Windsor for potential additional tornadoes. We'll update this if need be then on that. Looking at some of these confirmed tornadoes, our first tornado of the night was Neoga here. That was an EF2 that touched down right on the east side of town. They're lifted to the north and east. We actually saw some of the power flashes live on TV as it crossed the Interstate 57 US 45 exit there and continued off to the north and east. Passed to the east of Etna, west of Trilla, and lifted just northwest of Lerna there and had winds of 120 miles an hour. Was on the ground for 11 miles and over 15 minutes. There was another tornado then that touched down north of Mattoon. This was a brief touchdown here, just southwest of the Dorrans community. Was on the ground for half a mile, about a minute. Did have 100-mile-an-hour winds, damaged a few structures up that way. Interestingly enough, this is actually just north of a tornado that happened in 2021. We go over to Paris. Paris was one of the harder hit communities here. That tornado was an EF1 with winds of 90 miles an hour. Touched down on the south side of Paris, lifting north and east through some of those factories on South Marshall Street here, and then continued through the south and east portions of town. US 150 was closed for a couple of days because of the extensive damage to power lines, and it continued up Clinton Road. We may add the path up Clinton Road a little bit more there. That's something to watch, but it was on the ground for 4 minutes, traveled just under 4 miles there. And this also was the first tornado on recorded history here to strike Paris directly. 1992 and 1996 both had brief tornadoes just northwest of town. This is the first one that we know of that has ever gone through the city of Paris. Additional tornadoes touched down, one to the west of Lovington, lifting north and east. It crossed Illinois 32 between Lake City and Lovington, lifting north of Lovington then. And it was 110-mile-an-hour winds on the ground for 6 minutes, traveling 5 miles. As quick as it lifted, it retouched down then just on the south side of Hammond, tore through the heart of town, quite a bit of damage in the Hammond area, and continued off to the north and east. It was on the ground for 10 miles over 9 minutes here, 115-mile-an-hour winds, lifting to the east of Voorhees there, north of Atwood. There was a break then as we got all the way up into Champaign County, then through Champaign-Urbana. Another tornado confirmed by the National Weather Service then touched down in the Sellers community, lifted to the north, just missing Flatville. Just on the west side of Gifford at Gordyville had some damage, and it lifted before the Middle Fork Preserve, and that was on the ground for 14 miles, about 13 and a half miles. 12 minutes. Fast-moving tornado, 100-mile-an-hour winds, and EF1 reported there. Again, we think there may be some more tornadoes that get added to the board down here to the south and west. We'll keep you updated on that on the web article that outlines these. In addition, some folks are asking, how are tornadoes rated? Well, we use the enhanced Vegeta scale here. Zeros and ones considered weak tornadoes, 65 to 110-mile-an-hour winds. Once we get to the EF2s and 3s, these are considered strong tornadoes here. We're up to 111-mile-per-hour winds. EF3s max out at 165. We've been in the EF2 range for a couple of our tornadoes here. And beyond that, then EF4s and 5s considered violent tornadoes. We've had plenty of weak tornadoes, a number of strong tornadoes over the years. The last time we had a violent tornado, though, have to go back to 1976 in March, when a violent tornado, an F4, touched down and tore through Sedoris and then Ogden on a long path through Macon, Piatt, Champaign, and Vermilion counties here. We've only had in our WCIA 3 viewing area in recorded history one EF5. That was back in Taylorville, way back in the old days. I think it was the late 1880s is when that tornado touched down. But we have not had strong tornadoes like that since then. EF4 has been the strongest we've seen. And again, it's been about 50 years almost since we've had a tornado that strong. Stay tuned for more updates on the storm surveys. I expect more updates on that. We'll keep you updated here online and on WCIA TV Channel 3.